So we're going to move on to Dragon Age now.
Yes, best series.
Sorry,
Mass Effect.
We got a lot of love for Dragon. We love Mass Effect, but there's something special about Dragon Age. So overall, a few things we like better than Mass Effect, I would say.
Yeah.
Is
just
the
world building.
Yeah, it was a lot better, a lot smoother.
You don't feel like you're being taught about the world. You just pick it up as you go.
You're experiencing it.
Yeah.
Whereas in Mass Effect, you got to sit there and you got to listen.
Everything feels more alive in Dragon Age. The companions interact with each other more than they interact with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, you feel like you're walking around and Morrigan suddenly starts slagging Alistair off and you're like, classic Morrigan.
Yeah, I think it learnt a lot from Mass Effect.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of telling you lore, it showed it to you.
Yeah.
The thing that I like, as much as I love Shepard, I like that you get to be a different person every game.
Yeah, it really frees up how they tell the stories, and it's interesting to see, because obviously Ferelden's been featured now in all 3 games, so it's interesting to see the setting from different perspectives, but also how the characters interact with different protagonists. Like Varric treats Hawke differently to how he treats the Inquisitor, and it's
more fun for you,
yeah,
as well, because I'm a basic bitch and I play human warrior in all of them, but the characters are so different. It's like a different game. I'm the same class and I'm the same race, but I'm not the same character.
Yeah,
and I think that's Shepard was epic, and I get why it was one character, but I think Dragon Age, just having that different person, just give it an edge. It's just better.
Yeah.
So we dive into Dragon Age 1.
Dragon Age 1.
Origins.
It's just perfect. End of.
That's it. At the end of the podcast, sorted.
No, it's got... The world is dark, it's gritty, straight from the get-go. Like, human noble origin, your entire family is dead within 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, the mage origin, your friend's going to be lobotomized.
Tranquil.
Like...
Made tranquil.
Yeah. Every origin has a tragedy. Like, hit you like that. You get sent to the Grey Wardens. Well... You don't get sent, you get, like, kind of recruited, I guess.
Depending on whatever origin you have, you will end up with these Grey Wardens.
And that's when the story begins to, like, all the origins then converge into the main story. So you end up with the Grey Wardens, you're sent south to fight the Darkspawn. The Darkspawn actually fuck up the King's Army and all the Grey Wardens. They all die because Turn Logain is a bitch. So he then retreats to the capital, declares himself
He runs
regent.
away like a bitch.
Declares himself regent, orders people to come and kill you. So it's just you and Alistair left. And Alistair is a sunshine child.
He's very simple, and at the start of the game, when you lose, like, your new daddy figure, and it's just you and him... And
the first time I played the game, I was like, we are fucked.
Like, because you literally, like, you drink from the chalice, and like, oh, you're a new Grey Warden now. Great, but you don't really know much. And
If
then
anything.
everyone dies, and you're like, he's your only source of, like, what we gotta do. And he's...
After you, he's the newest Grey Warden.
Yeah.
And it's like...
And you're like, we're all gonna die. And we're all gonna die because of him. And at the end of the game, you're like, I'll die for him willingly.
I'd die for Alistair.
I would die for Alistair. So, again, very similar. It's actually very... Now we're, like, actually sitting down and talking about it, it's very similar to Mass Effect.
Yeah.
In the terms of... Not so much 1, it's actually more like 3. So you go around and you go to the mages...
Yeah. The elves, the dwarves.
Yeah.
They've all got their own problems to deal with before they can help you.
And you're basically, again, Archdemons coming, bro. Starting a vision. Archdemons come in. Everyone's like, is it my problem though?
Yeah.
Like, you're a Grey Warden, isn't it your problem? So,
and
you
like,
know.
bitch, what am I supposed to do by myself?
Yeah, essentially.
So you help them with their shit and they're like, okay, we'll send someone to help you, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, basically, yeah.
And you do all of this because a witch tells you to do it.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, it's mad shit.
Oh, God.
And it's really good. Like, you gather this army, you go to the capital, you tell Turn Logain to fuck off, or if you're a stupid bitch like Chris, recruit him. instead of Alistair.
When Chris told us that he recruited Turn again, we were all like, I say all, me and you were just like...
I was prepared to like cut him off completely.
Like, why did you do that? And he was like, it was the right thing to do. And we're like,
is it? No. So, and then you fight the Archdemon. Fuck it up with those ballistas that you didn't know about.
Yeah, no, I didn't know that. I was there, like, grinding, killing the Archdemon. Like, I didn't die, but, like, it took me a long time to kill it. And I came into school the next day and he's like, why don't you just shoot it with the ballistas? And I was like, fuck. Oh, I didn't know they were there.
So, yeah, that's Origins in a nutshell.
Companions now. This is where it gets...
Dragon Age Origins had some of the best companions.
Complicated.
We'll start with Alistair, because he's the first one you get.
He's the best.
He's the best. Like, everything he does, he has never done anything wrong in his life ever.
Well, he has.
But it doesn't
to me, like, he has done something wrong to me. In the DLC.
When he shows up.
I romanced Alistair and I married him and I became queen because it's what I deserve. And so, in the DLC, like, he's there and he's like, you stay here, I'll go and get our armies and I'll come back to you.
But by the time...
And I'm like, I'm still waiting now, so... Yeah, and that was, like, however many years ago, so, you know...
Maybe it's because you're that efficient that by the
be.
time he'd even got back to the capital city, it was already dealt with.
But he is, like... Whereas Caden and Ashley are boring, basic first characters.
Alistair is
he's got
fully
one of
fleshed
the,
out.
like... Yeah, he's got one of the most sort of important stories in that game.
And do you know what? It's the same with every Dragon Age companion. They're so much more fleshed out than the Mass Effect ones. And it's funny because Mass Effect 1, 2 and 3, all the characters were in the same games.
Yeah.
But Dragon Age has a different set of characters each time and still manages to be more fleshed out.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. So Alistair's basic backstory is essentially he was the bastard son of the king. Mm-hmm. So, you know, he should be king, not Turn again and his little bitch-ass daughter.
I know, yeah.
That's essentially the plot of the game. Like I said, it was complicated, but it's not actually that complicated. No. But it's fine.
He's got a sister who's not his sister, though.
Yeah. I went to see her. It didn't
and she's like a gold digging whore.
Yeah. Essentially.
So next time I play it, I'm like, you don't need that bitch.
Morgan is actually... I despise Morgan. I hate her.
You only don't like her because of the ritual.
Yeah, literally. So you have to... Basically... At the end of the game,
if somebody,
yeah, if you don't want to die, somebody's got to have a baby, and it couldn't be me. I couldn't give Morgan a baby because I was a lady, science. So it had to be Alistair, and that
because it had to be a Grey Warden baby.
Pissed me off. Like I know it's not real, but to this day, I still feel burning hatred for her.
See, for me, I love Morgan because I romanced her, and the baby was mine. He's called Kieran. He's adorable, if a bit creepy.
But that's the thing. Like she's really the most important of the characters.
Oh yeah,
essentially, because she goes
still going through forward as well. In the last Inquisition, there's a scene with Kieran. The Inquisitor goes to speak to him, and like he's really cryptic. Like if you're an elf, he's like, "Oh, you've got old blood. I could smell it," and it's like,
okay then.
Hi, little child who's not creepy in any way. But you ask him about his mum, and if you conceived him without doing the ritual, like just if you're in a romance with Morrigan, he just says, "Oh, she's a witch of the wilds." Mm-hmm. And if you conceived him as part of the ritual, he says something like, "Oh, she's the inheritor. She's awaiting the next age." So like it's building her up as like a key player.
You can tell, like even looking at her, like physically looking at her, she looks a lot better than some of the companions. And you can tell, like, they've put a lot of effort into her.
I think when people think Dragon Age, Morrigan's probably one of the characters they think of.
Yeah. So, we got very different opinions. I know she's your baby mama, but I hate her.
But she does warm up to you, though.
No, see, this is the thing, like, because I think...
She starts off cold-hearted, and then she's like, "You are a true friend."
Because like... she hates Alistair, and I was romancing Alistair. I think me and her were always on the outs.
Fair.
Because I was like, don't chat shit about my mum. Don't chat shit about my mum. So... And she's got a whole story with her mom.
Yeah. Flemeth is... Should we go full spoiler?
Yeah.
Flemeth was possessed by what she tells everyone was a spirit, but it's actually an elven goddess called Mythal who's out for vengeance.
Sorted.
Not against, like, people, though. It's just against the other elven gods who betrayed her, so it's okay. And Flemeth's been, like, harbouring this spirit for centuries.
Yeah.
She wants to pass it on to Morrigan. Morrigan found a book, misinterpreted what it said, and she's like, "Oh shit, Flemeth's going to possess me." hires you to kill Flemeth, but that doesn't last long because you don't.
See, I didn't do that because I was a scrub and I didn't like Morgan and I didn't want to kill Flemeth. I took Alistair and my doggo and I went to Flemeth and I was like, Morgan wants me to kill you, but I'm not really feeling that. And she's like, take my book and I'll just go. And I'm like, yeah, good. And I went back to Morgan like
this shit out.
throwing the book on the table like Flemeth's dead, yeah.
But Flemeth, she shows up in all of the games and
Yes.
she's a really important character. And she's also just a really cool character.
She's so fit in the second one.
Yes, in Origin, she's like this haggard old grandma.
lady.
And then you meet her in 2 and she comes out in this like skin tight like armour.
She's
like
super fit.
with this like big ass dragon hair and you're like, okay.
Hello. Someone had like an epic makeover.
Blow up.
Queer eye. Some queer eye got her. So yeah, again, the whole jam with Morgan and Flemeth is very, very important.
I think it's one of the key things going forward as well.
Then we got some other people.
Leliana.
Leliana's actually quite... I wouldn't say she's important,
She's an
but she's
interesting
around.
character. She's very interesting. She starts off and you meet her in a tavern and she's a priestess.
Is she though?
Well, and then you get out of the tavern, she's like, I'm going to really attempt to do a French accent. I will attempt to tell you my darkest secrets.
Leliana's
That was
very
more
trusting.
African, I'm really sorry.
She's very trusting. You meet her and she's like...
By the way, I used to be a trained assassin.
Like, I'm a trained assassin.
On the
like,
run from the French government,
Yeah.
very much.
And you're my new best friend, so that's cool. And you're like, okay then. Guess you're going to come along.
Yeah. So she's kind of cool. She's got like a bit of lore about the church that you can speak to her about.
She sings you a nice song.
She does sing a little song around the campfire.
That's pretty cool.
It kind of happens a bit randomly, but it is pretty
Yeah,
cool.
it is very random when it's triggered, but it's alright. It's alright.
For some reason, she seems to get it into her head that everyone wants to romance her.
Yeah.
Like, did she do that with you?
Yeah, because
Did you give her the nug and
I
she's
gave
like,
her a
we're
nug.
banging? I'm
I
like,
got her a
we're
nug
not.
because she said she always wanted one. And then at the end of the game, when I was going to marry Alistair, she comes and she's like, so you're going to marry Alistair then? And I'm like, well, yeah. And she's like, but what about us? What about us? And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about.
us,
Like,
yeah.
I actually don't know what you're on about. And she was like, I thought that we had like something. And I'm like, did we? I don't feel like it
Did I
gave me
have
that
the
impression.
sex scene with you or did I have the sex scene with Alistair?
Yeah, like, I don't know. I think maybe...
Dragon Age Origins sex scenes, by the way, are hilarious.
They are really bad.
They're like campfire dry humping.
Yeah.
It's just...
And it's really weird because none of them are in the tent. So is everyone else just around?
Yeah, like is
just-
Sten still by the fire, like, warming his hands, like,
Sten's an MVP.
Sten, I really like the part. There's a part of Origins where Sten can challenge you for leadership of the party.
Is there?
Yeah. If
That
you
would
take
happen,
him to
mate.
Haven with you, you get there and he's like, I'm tired of all this walking around, you're going too slowly. And he like gets his sword out and you're like, fucking fight me, Sten. And you fight him and he's like, you're worthy to lead the party, carry on. And I'm like,
I don't remember that happening.
it was really weird.
And they, like, what was the BS that they...
And he likes butterflies.
He does like butterflies. What was the BS that they gave about him looking different to the
Oh, they were like,
Cunaria?
is a special Cunaria because like 1 in 100 Cunaria born without horns, and it's like, bitches, because you couldn't animate him.
He is very, like, potato-y animated. Like, he's very, like, weird-shaped.
Yeah.
He just looks like a human, to be honest.
A very tall, bronze-skinned human.
He's very funny. He's got, like, a really dry, deadpan sense of humour.
Mm.
And he is fun. He's nothing special, but he's not a bad character. I think that about all of the Dragon Age companions, especially in Origins.
Yeah.
Like, even if you don't like them,
They're still quite
they've got some good
interesting,
stuff
yeah.
going on.
Like Sten, you don't see a lot of Kunari in Origins,
Yeah.
so all of the lore you get about
From
the Kunari is from Sten. And the Kunari is so different to everything else that it makes him interesting.
Yeah. A character that I did have a fight with, and I didn't realise I killed him until I got back.
Zevran.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I didn't realise that I killed him, because, like, it kind of just happened while I was travelling.
Yeah.
And this guy's like, Zevran, you gonna come back to the guild then, or what?
Zevran's an assassin who's hired to kill you.
But he
And
doesn't,
then you fuck him up, and he's like, wait,
you're
I'll
hot.
join you.
He's like, you're really hot, I'll join you.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay. And then Alice is like, you really gonna let him come? And I'm like,
Pretty much everyone in your party is like, this is the worst idea you've ever had. And you're
Yeah.
like, I'm going to go with it.
and then, so like, the guy kind of sprung up on me and he was like, are you coming back to the guild? And for some reasons, everyone felt that he didn't love me anymore. And he tried to kill me, and I killed him. And I didn't really realise it was him, and then I got back
Yeah.
to the camp, and I was like,
Where's that?
where's Zevran?
Oh,
I looked
shit.
in my inventory, and the bow that I gave him was in my inventory, and I was like, oh my god, I just killed him. I was like, oh my god, it's too late now. So I never really got the rest of his story because I'd never played one again. Because I didn't have another 400 hours.
I think that was the end of his story, to be honest. Yeah. Was it the guy who comes and he's like, "You're part of the Crows. Come back."
Yeah.
Okay, so what happens if you don't kill him is
story time.
You get back and you're like, "What the fuck was that all about? Why did you try and get to kill me?" And he's like, "Oh, it's because I kind of already tried to leave the Crows once, and he was hired to assassinate this girl he'd fallen in love with."
Aww. He still tried to kill me though, so he deserved it. But anyway.
True. There's dog.
I like the dog. The dog's funny because obviously the dog doesn't talk to you, but
the dog's canon name is Barkspawn. Get it? Darkspawn. Barkspawn.
That's so bad.
I love it.
His interaction.
That's actually his canon name. That wasn't just a bad joke on my part.
his interaction with the other party members is what makes him so
my
great.
favourite scene is when Sten's crouched on the floor,
and growling at
him, and it's like, "Your dog is a noble warrior," and just walks off, and I'm like, okay.
They're like, yeah. That was cool.
When you speak to him, he can go and get items, and he brings you back a cake and some trousers.
Yeah, he brings you that weird stuff, doesn't he? It's a cool mechanic. It's good because it's he's a good companion to have if you're going to snack on someone. If you're going to
disapprove.
Yeah, if you're going to do something you shouldn't really be doing and you don't want anyone to know.
Dog always has 100% approval.
Yeah, you can take the dog and you can take Alistair. Because he doesn't really disapprove of much.
No.
Not
unless you're being horrible.
Yeah, so he's a good cop. The dog's a good cop out if you need to take someone with you just in case, but you're going to do something sneaky. Yeah, that's a good. Win
is grandma.
Lady.
She's grandma. So when you meet Win, she's recently deceased. She's just been killed, and she's been possessed by a faith spirit. And you help her liberate the Mage Tower from blood mages, and then she's like, "This bitch is cool, I'm coming with him." She's like, "He's doing the Lord's work.
Essentially.
Let's help him stop the Darkspawn, let's go." She has really cute interactions with Alistair. She's telling him that she'll knit up the holes in his socks.
She's cute.
There's another character called Ogren who joins you, who's just a standard pisshead dwarf.
Yeah.
She talks about drinking contests with him, and they're comparing alcohols, and it's like, she's what I want to be as an old lady.
Them pair are they're not I don't take them with me.
Yeah. And
I don't really rate them in terms of being in the party.
I take Wim with me because she's a healer and I'm not when I play as a mage.
True.
So she gets automatic space. I normally take Win, Leliana or Zevran because I need chests opening, and Alistair.
I think I like her a lot better than Ogren. Ogren's alright. I think out of all the party members, he's probably the weakest.
Yeah, because his whole deal is just, I'm drunk. I'm bitch, me too.
Yeah. I think overall they are a really good bunch. And again, it's
we're not going to talk about Logain because he's a snake.
He doesn't count. No. I never had him as a party member and I never will. I think it's a really good set of characters. It's a really good story. The places you get to go are so different from each other, and the races are different in some aspects, apart from the dwarfs that are just the same as any dwarf.
And the romances are written amazingly.
Yeah.
Morrigan, our romance Morrigan, she starts out and she's really cold and hostile because she's not had any human contact except for her mum, who's a crazy old witch.
She's basically the chick from Tangled.
Yeah, pretty much.
I can't remember her name. Rapunzel, couldn't even remember.
But bitchy and mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. Instead of hopeful,
nice.
she's the bad outcome of what would happen in that situation. And she really warms. And in the end, she gives you a ring, and she's like, "You're are you proposing to me?" She's like, "No, it's so I can track you if we get separated." And she just gets flustered and leaves. And you end up having a kid with her. And Alistair's romance, when I played as a female character, I romanced Alistair, and that's just perfectly ruined.
It is so good. It is pathetic.
I think I actually fell in love with Alistair.
Literally, that's what I was going to say. He gives you this rose, and you're there playing it, and you're like, oh my gosh.
Kiss from Everest starts playing.
This is so romantic. It is. They're really good. They're kind of slower paced in Mass Effect, but that works. So you feel you're actually building up a friendship, and then it turns to romance. Whereas Mass Effect, it's we can quote it. We'll bang, okay. And it's just there, it's done.
Yeah.
And I think
that's the thing. Everything in Dragon Age feels more natural.
Yeah.
Whereas in Mass Effect, everything kind of feels forced.
It's rushed.
Everything feels like a gameplay mechanic.
Yeah. I think they're just even the friendships in Dragon Age are better.
Yeah, for sure.
Than Mass Effect. But Garrus is better. Like I can't say a bad word about Garrus, but like Mass Effect is just it's a lot quicker, and they don't. I think it's because you're all in the camp, and so there's more interaction. Whereas Mass Effect is like go to this room, talk to this person, go to this room, and it's like a chore. And you know, every time you do a mission, there's a new interaction, and it's like blocky. Whereas Dragon Age, like you say, they talk. And they actually give an input on what you're doing, and it's more like it flows better.
Do you want to know one other thing that Dragon Age does better than Mass Effect? DLC.
Wow.
Because
Shale and the Golden Rod.
Origins had a brilliant set of DLC. We had Shale in the Stone Prisoner DLC.
That was pretty cool.
A golem that was just frozen.
She's mean.
She's mean. She hates pigeons, birds of all kinds. Her opening cutscene, she stomps on a chicken. And she's just really cool. She's like really fashion conscious about what jewels she put in her. She's very unique.
Yeah, she's
like gameplay wise. She's a good tank because she's got a lot of HP, but her abilities are shit.
Yeah, she doesn't. You're not missing anything having her, but it's definitely fun to have her.
She's good to take on the Deep Roads quest because you get a lot of lore.
That's cool. I can't remember. I try not to think about the Deep Road quest
because the guy. You know the guy at the end who's a golem?
Yeah.
He's the guy who turned her into a golem.
Oh, no way. The more you know.
What other DLCs were? There was Return to Ostagar. That one is you go to the battlefield from the first piece of the game and you just kill a Darkspawn. The aim of it is to recover some letters that were from King Kaelin
you find his armour,
to the Empress, and you find his armour. You find his body and give him a bit of a funeral. You find Duncan's sword and give it Alistair.
R.I.P.
Very nice. There's Warden's Keep, and this one's really important because it gets you a treasure chest that you can use to put all your excess inventory in. But more importantly, it's a story about the history of Ferelden, why the Grey Wardens were kicked out of Ferelden 100 or so years ago and then let back in.
Yeah, kicking us out, but then when the Archdemon comes, you're like, oh shit.
And it was really interesting.
Yeah, that's quite fun.
Then there was Awakening, the expansion.
I really, really liked Awakening. I thought...
It had a good cast of characters.
Literally. Anders was good in that one.
Anders was hilarious. Sigrun,
he was really cool in that.
Sigrun, the little dwarf who just wanted to die.
Yeah.
She was cool. The only character... Nathaniel. Originally I thought, who is this bitch to have the audacity to come and try and kill me? And then I was like, actually, he's pretty cool.
He's alright.
Ogren, again, is just still up his head dwarf, but now he's a Grey Warden too.
Justice.
Justice is like a weird spirit that inhabits a dead body, and it makes me uncomfortable.
And the on my game, the animations for him was messed up. So
that's horrifying.
You know, like Assassin's Creed Unity.
Yeah.
You know how all them face glitches, it was like that all the time.
That is.
Yeah, it was pretty weird.
And then there was Valana, who's a Dalish elf who's trying to find a sister,
and that's
and she
thinks
jam. That humans took her, so she was killing humans, and then it turns out it was a Darkspawn all along.
I think that going into that.
I thought that was going to be really important, but it's not played into the story anymore.
I thought that DLC, because you only had a few party members that weren't obviously the OG, I was like, this is going to be terrible. Why do I want to interact with these people? And then you actually did enjoy it.
Yeah.
And the characters were good.
But it shows like how good the character development in Dragon Age is, that they can bring in like 5 randoms and Ogren, who is probably the least popular companion, and still get a good gameplay out of it.
Yeah. The most important DLC...
There was the Golems of Angarak, I can't say it, in between. That was a bit of a waste of time.
I don't even remember that one.
It's like, you get a letter from a dwarf, and he's like, I found this lost tig which you used to make golems. Do you want to come have a look? You're like, yeah, and you get there, it's like, so I sent my brother ahead and he's gone missing, so we've got to find him too.
Played that.
And then you get there and one of them like big fat flesh things like attack you. That's it.
It
has no relevance on the rest of the story. It's interesting, you get some Dwarven lore. Fine Dwarven lore.
The Fine Dwarven lore. The most important DLC.
Witch Hunt.
Is Witch Hunt. Mm-hmm. Now, I got my revenge in Witch Hunt and I shanked Morrigan, which is probably going to be the wrong thing to do.
Well, she survives it, so she's going to be pissed at you.
Yeah, I know that. Like, I didn't know that then, and I killed her. And I'm thinking now, after playing Inquisition, I'm like,
I went to live in a magical mirror with my son and my wife.
Good for you. So we both got what we wanted, really. But, like, looking back now, I'm like, after playing Inquisition, I'm like...
I liked the two companions in that. There was the elf huntress lady. I think her name was, like, Ariane or something.
Something weird like that.
She was just a bit mean.
And
she was after Morrigan, because Morrigan stole her clan's books.
It was like a dumb mage, wasn't he? Like,
Yeah.
he was really, like... No, he wasn't dumb. He was just not very versed in the world, was he?
No.
And you kind of... It was like Tally in the first one. Like, you had to kind of teach him things.
And, like, there's a bit, and he's like, is there a cut on my robe? And he literally just faints. And you're like, okay.
And doesn't he have, like, a woolly hat or something that he keeps going on
Oh,
about?
yeah, in his inventory it's called, like, Finn's ghastly hat or something. And you're like, okay.
Again, that, like... Again, two new people, but they worked.
Yeah.
And obviously you kept the same hero.
Mm-hmm.
Hero for Elden.
Unless you died.
Oh, yeah.
And then you just made a new one. It was like, oh, you've come from Orlais to lead the Grey Wardens.
Standard.
Yeah, pretty easy to set up.
But I think I would say the hero. I'd say Hawk's my favourite then the hero to play as.
Mine's probably Horden the Inquisitor.
I don't know.
Just because I prefer voice protagonists.
Yeah, no, that obviously that was a problem, but I thought, I don't know, I like the hero. I think the hero made me want to be good, but not to the point where I felt like I was forced into doing it.
My problem with the hero is because it wasn't voiced, I struggle to imagine a personality.
No, see, I thought, I don't know, I think it's how in-depth your origin story is, I suppose.
Yeah.
Because, like, I knew what I was about from my origin story, and I was like, my dad...
Yeah, I knew what I was about, like, but, like, I can't remember memorable lines or anything because I didn't hear them, and, like, my memory's shit. Can I get you a ladder so you can get off my back? Every time you see a new enemy.
But, I don't know, I like the hero. I think the hero, I tried to be good.
Yeah.
I tried to be good, but it was off my own back. Like, I wanted to be good.
Yeah.
Whereas as Shepherd, I felt like I had to be good.
Yeah. I'm struggling to get comfy again.
So we're all getting into
rearranging.
So overall, it was pretty perfect at the time.
Was.
I think it suffers from how I view Mass Effect 1 in terms of if I want to go back and play it, it's a lot.
It is long.
It's a lot to do, but it would be more enjoyable than replaying Mass Effect 1, but I just know it's gonna... It's
when you get to the Fade and the Deep Road and you're like...
He had to come to my house and literally sit me down and force me to do the Fade because I was like, I'm not doing it, I can't do it, it's boring. And you came around my house and you're like, sit down and play this.
That's the one part, the two parts of Origins I didn't like. I'd rate it a 9 out of 10
just because of that.
They dock a point.
I like the ending as well. I think, obviously, Dragon Age, the endings, because you're moving on to the next companion, the endings are always solid endings.
Yeah.
Not so much in Inquisition, but we'll get there. Whereas, like, Dragon Age 1...
You get an epilogue.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you chose to make Alistair king and you told him that he didn't need his sister because he was fine by himself, you get, like, an epilogue epilogue slide that's like, Alistair ruled for a long time and he was very firm but fair, blah, 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 blah. And it tells you what happens to each of the companions after, in case they don't show up in other games. And I think that's really... Like, sometimes it does get contradicted. Like, you can kill Oghren. I don't know how, because I've never done it, but I think you get in, like, a drunken fight with him and kill him.
Oh my god.
And then he just shows up in Awakening, and he's like, sup? And you're like, Oghren...
You dead!
I killed you, and he's like, I just blacked out, and then I woke up and everyone was gone. And you're like... Okay. And like Anders can die in Awakening, and then obviously he's in Dragon Age 2, but they explain it, like they explain everything. If they bring someone back who could die, like Leliana or Anders, they explain it retroactively.
Yeah.
Like Leliana, you can kill her if you choose to poison the urn. And I know I killed her when I did that because her head came clean off. So she was 100%
She was dead.
And then she's there in Inquisition, like. So, and I'm like, I watched your head fly across the screen.
Is it when there were like some ashes fell on her and the ashes brought back from the dead? Is it that
so
rubbish?
What happened was they explained it by saying that the cave was really full of lyrium because it was built on that's why the mountain exploded in Inquisition. And they were like, through mysterious circumstances, Leliana was saved. And then in Trespasser, her epilogue, if that happens, was that one day a big cloud of ravens swarms Skyhold, like the sky above Skyhold, and she disappears. And there's just a note saying, like, I'm not needed anymore, I'll be back when I'm needed, or something. Like some weird shit.
Okay.
Yeah. So, right.
We love 1.
We do love 1.
Standard. We love the
we also
characters.
love 2.
If you like that video and want to see more like it, then click this playlist button here. If you happen to want to subscribe to us and check out all our content, then click this amazing sexy button right here. Look how enticing it is. You know you want to click it. And if you're already subscribed to us, well then you are already an awesome human being.